As we move through maintaining our health as caregivers, let me talk to you about the fog of caregivers, the fear, obligation, and guilt fog of caregivers, which leads to heartache, anger, and turmoil. Fog hat, because I like 70s music, and it's a slow ride. If you don't know that, look it up. It's funny. Take my word for it. So, fear, obligation, and guilt, fog. And those things paralyze a caregiver. It takes us into some bad places. Just like if you were driving in a fog. Think about it. If you were driving in a fog and you had no way of knowing where the road is, how long do you think you would go before you crash? Well, we caregivers are in our own fog. That fear, obligation, and guilt, it just consumes us. It envelops us. So let's talk a little bit about fear. Fear eats at a caregiver, and it has torment. I mean, it will wear you slam out. And what happens is we start worrying about things, and we start living in the wreckage of our future. I mean, think about what we're doing here. We're getting upset about stuff that hadn't even happened yet. Well, what if she does this? Well, what if she does this? Well, what if he does this? Or what if this happens? It hasn't happened yet. And we don't have any control over that. The past is gone. The future's out there. We're just going to have to deal with today. Now, that's not very fun to think about. A lot of people want to say, well, I don't want to do that. I want to do this and this and this and this. It doesn't matter. This is the reality. We're going to deal with today. And tomorrow will be sufficient for itself. I remember one time I was in the hospital with my wife, and the doctor came out, and she'd had an infection in her back. And he said, she's going to have to stay in the hospital for 3 months. And she's going to have to be opened up about every other day, and we're going to have to irrigate this thing out. And she's not going to be able to raise up more than 15 degrees for 3 months. Now, we were no stranger to surgeries at this point. I mean, she's had 78, and this was around number 50 or so. And I had 2 kids at home. And I'm thinking, I just sunk. And I said, I can't. I just muttered to no one in particular. I said, I can't do this. I can't do this for 3 months. And he put his hand on my shoulder. The surgeon put his hand on my shoulder. I'll never forget this. And he said, and he known me for 16 years at that point. And he said, we're not going to do this for 3 months. We're going to do this for 24 hours. I've learned this. As a caregiver now for 30 years, I've learned that nobody can do this for 30 years. Nobody can do this for a lifetime. Anybody can do it for 24 hours. And that's where we're going to live as caregivers. Now, anybody else tells you that? Yeah, you may not believe it. But I've been doing this for 3 decades. I know what I'm talking about. This is how you live. This is how you do it. It's not going to just snap your fingers and it's all going to get better, and it's not going to necessarily go off the cliff. It's just going to be what it is, and we're going to deal with what it is today, and we're going to focus on today. There's an old hymn I love, strength for today, bright hope for tomorrow. That's what we're going to do as caregivers.